This is Chapter 20 summaries. So, Chapter 20 talked about the laws governing labor management relations. The first one they talked about is the Wagner Act, which guarantees the rights of workers to organize and bargain collectively and forbids employers from engaging in specified unfair labor practices. Then there was collective bargaining, which are negotiations between an employer and a union primarily over wages, hours, and terms and conditions of employment. Then there's the Taft-Hartley Act, which bars unions from engaging in specified unfair labor practices and make collective bargaining agreements enforceable in U.S. district courts, and provides a civil damages remedy for parties injured by certain prohibited upon activities. The Landrum-Griffin Act of 1959 talks about and governs the internal operation of labor unions, and then the National Labor Relations Board, which is also referred to as the NLRB, is the administrative agency set up to interpret and enforce the Wagner Act. The employees' rights under the Landrum-Griffin Act are equal rights, freedom of speech and assembly, dues, initiation fees and assessments, protection of right to sue, and safeguards against improper discipline. Labor Management Committee is a forum in which workers communicate directly with upper management and may be illegal under the NLRA if the committee has an impact on working conditions, unless all workers in a bargaining unit or a plant participate or the employees on the committee are carrying out a traditional management function. The appropriate bargaining unit may be an entire plant, a single department, or employees of a single employer, as long as there's a mutuality of interest among the proposed members of the unit. Then good faith bargaining is following procedural standards laid out in Section 8 of NLRA. Failure to bargain in good faith by either the employer of the union is unfair labor practice. The subjects of collective bargaining are mandatory subjects of collective bargaining, which bargain for pay, wages, etc. And then permissive subjects of collective bargaining aren't bargained for. A strike is a temporary concerted withdrawal of labor. An economic strike is a non-violent work stoppage for the purpose of obtaining better terms and conditions of employment under a collective bargaining agreement. A boycott is refusal to deal with, purchase goods from, or work for a business. Picketing is the stationing of individuals outside of an employer's place of business to inform passersby of the fact of a labor dispute. There is informational, jurisdictional, and organizational picketing.